Could he have played it any worse is the question, Pete.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah. You egocentric compressor, you man.
Give me some sugar.
I am your neighbor. And that's feedback from a sorry I'm talking over, but that's the feedback from a clean amp. Hello and welcome to Guitar Paradiso here on Andertons TV. My name is Pete.
My name is Mick, and I do believe, Peter, the inspiration took you a little bit there.
It did a little bit. The sound was nice. It was just a good combination there of guitars and amps and pedals and stuff.
But it happens, doesn't it? When a good sound grabs you and inspires you a bit, off you go.
Yeah. And then you can literally, we did another video recently where you had the same thing with an amp and with the Morgan MPV 23, 35.
23.
35. Well, anyway.
23.
And plug in, you can't stop playing because there's just something that just inspires you to keep going. Boom, ego compressor from Wampler and a tape echo.
Yeah, so
vintage.
Let's start here,
tones.
shall we?
Yes.
So this has been much anticipated. We saw it at the NAMM show, if you remember.
We did.
So Wampler's big box ego compressor is a much loved pedal compressor that sort of moved on miles from the Dynacomp type thing.
Yeah.
And oh goody, they've done it in a small box.
So we can get more pedals on our boards.
Yeah, and these two switches here, tone and attack, are knobs, usually on the big one.
Yeah.
They've made them in switches, and apparently what Brian's done is, Brian Wampler, hello Brian if you're watching.
Amen.
Has put these two particular controls on switches, and he's picked 2 points on what were rotary knobs on the big one to kind of
which was probably the best sort of settings. You know, everybody each to their own, but still, and that's a really cool thing.
The two options that they felt. Obviously, you want continuously adjustable control of blend, which we'll come on to in a minute. Sustain is your level of compression, and volume is the overall output of the pedal. Yeah. Shall we get in?
We shall get in, darling.
And then actually after that we'll come on to the faux tape echo, which is kind of version 2.5.
Yeah.
Get there in a minute.
Exactly.
So Pierre, your
Fender Hot Rod Deluxe Duesenberg Paloma.
Not only does that, I mean we're both looking pretty spangly today.
I know.
I have to say.
What's going on? It is Christmas, isn't it? It's Christmas colours.
It suits your shirt.
Oh yeah. Quite my giggity.
And it suits you.
It's a good guitar, man.
It's a very cool guitar.
It is a very cool guitar.
Yeah.
And it sounds a bit like this on the front pickup here. Anyway.
Okay, so we'll go to the ego compressor. I'll just let's start off. I'll explain the attack control. So I'll switch it on.
Yeah.
And what you'll hear if you play. So you've got two levels of attack, fast and slow. Fast is kind of what you want if you were going to chicken pick.
Yeah.
Slow is kind of... probably again for...
Yeah.
But if we switch over to the other amp just for a second, play some soaring lead for me. Yeah, a slower attack can work if you're kind of sustaining big notes.
Oh yes, so more like.
But the faster attack is what you'd associate with your
clean, funky kind of stuff, yeah.
And of course, on the big box version, you've got continuously.
You got to.
The other thing is a tone knob, which is I think brighter in this position and slightly darker in that.
It's very subtle, and I think it reacts differently. If we go to, it's different on these two guitars. If I do it, for instance, if you turn that on the, and you hear it on this Duesenberg, for instance. So that's the bright side. It's very subtle, but I think if you change over to yours, it sounds great, man.
That's the sound.
Yeah,
that's
but you can hear a little bit on those single coils. It's a different. The tone reacts differently on different guitars. I think.
Yeah.
I think it would just do that automatically. Compressors do that as well, don't they? Compared to the pickup, what you send into it and get out, and
what you're doing is you're reducing the dynamic range of your whole sound, and then you're affecting that. So anything you do with the dynamic range of your guitar is going to have a massive effect depending on the guitar.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
It's such a cool sound.
It is a very cool sound.
And I've always found this particular Wampler's Ego to just be, because a lot of compressors you can buy, they don't have very many controls on, and sometimes they don't have a blend on.
Yeah,
and
blend
it can just be too much.
Blend is essential on a compressor pedal for me.
So here we are.
Me.
Right down here is not much compressor.
That's cool. Just that little bit of compression. Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
Isn't
that lovely?
Cool sound.
That's a lovely sound.
Such a cool sound.
What else can we say? Well,
it's very
nice.
Very playable. So on the pedal show, I've made a comment that says if you're going to use clean tones, you have to have a compressor. And quite rightly, a few people went, no, you can play clean tones.
See, I would say that as well. You don't need to,
no,
really.
Okay, so you don't have to.
No.
But what?
It's different.
If you play predominantly clean sounds and you can't be asked with overdrives, that gives you
absolutely
just a whole world of other.
But play and I'll turn it off. So that's just a compressor. Yep.
It's a sound.
Yes, it's great.
Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool.
And just one of the cool things about having the blend knob is if you had an overdrive, normally you would use your compressor before your overdrive, but if you wanted to use your overdrive before the compressor, you can blend in more of your dry sound.
Yeah.
So that you don't squash everything down,
but
you do get the benefit of that sustain.
You did a video on compressors before and after overdrive, didn't you? It's worth checking out, actually. There's a lot of people having a compressor before and one after the whole drive, so they can do that sort of blend into, or the other way around. And it's simply just what you kind of like with your sound.
It is, and the important thing about that is that you've got a blend knob,
you can blend
the dry sound.
You can blend it, blend it like that.
So,
moving on.
Mini Ego compressor.
Yeah, lovely.
Absolutely. Very cool.
Yeah, let's come and try it out. Links below.
Faux tape echo.
Faux.
Version kind of 2.5. Version 1 of the tape echo. I need to get this right, of the faux tape echo. Didn't have tap tempo. I think version 2 got tap tempo, which of course is really handy on a delay pedal. Version 2.5 gets the subdivisions thing, which we'll get into.
Yeah. Soft switches, was there always soft switches on here?
That I don't know. Possibly not, because that's
a click switch. This is a lovely softy switchy.
I rather like the old soft switches.
Yeah, I like that as well, because it's good when you're tapping the tempo. At least you could have that on here, so you're gonna get that click when it goes in, but then tapping the tempo is lovely because you don't have to go.
I don't know how these ones are designed, but some people don't like them because they don't click, so they don't feel the push.
But that's what I mean. So that's, you could have one on and off, and then for the tap tempo.
But if a switch is going to fail, it's going to be one of these.
Yeah.
Because
clicks.
It's a mechanical thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, blah blah blah.
Anyway, moving on.
New graphics.
It's not a new graphics.
So, if you would play, Pierre.
Yes, of course I will, darling. Yes.
One thing about tape echoes, which a lot of people don't sometimes misunderstand, is that it's not an analog delay which goes off crunchy and dark.
Yeah.
The point of a tape echo is that it sounds kind of pristine but kind of not really.
Yeah.
So in terms of overall sonic envelope, your typical tape echo will sit somewhere between a very clean digital delay and an old analog crunchy Bucket Brigade job.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of those two things.
Yeah.
So just to get that said. Right.
Clean tone on Fender.
Just makes me smile. The sound of tape echo is so good. That one actually, it does crunch off a little bit.
It does. There's a little crunch and a little sort of dirt in the tone. It's almost like it's a little bit sort of. But that's just, it adds to that sound.
Yeah, of course. The classic tape echo you'd think of is the Echoplex, which had a little preamp in it that, just kind of. It was just slightly crunchy,
hissy, little kind of.
But didn't lose fidelity in the repeats very quickly like a Bucket Brigade does. Anyway, so what you heard there is I had a quick go at the modulation. Now, apparently it's not just a simple sort of chorus type modulation.
Okay.
Apparently it is kind of dynamic to what you play. So if you just play softly a sec.
Okay. Anyway, that's nice.
Just such a cool sound. Such a cool sound.
800 max, is it?
It is, yeah. So you don't get such a radical modulation in this that you would in, say, something like an Deluxe Memory Man. It's not kind of
like completely
seasick, but it's
subtle
there to emulate the
tape going around, which is lovely.
Right, as you say, Peter, maximum 800 milliseconds, which sounds like this.
Hello?
Maximum of 800 milliseconds. And the cool addition is subdivisions.
Yes.
For anyone who doesn't understand subdivisions, I shall explain. Give me a quarter note tempo, Pierre.
And 2 and 3 and 4 and.
There's an 8.
Dotted 8.
Twice as many. Next is dotted 8s. And finally triplets. was our original tempo?
Did go with ba 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 ba. So let's tap the tempo in. This is one of my favorites. Somebody called David Gilmour does something like this. 1, 2, 3. That's nice.
That's very cool. So,
very cool.
Somebody else who also uses subdivisions a lot is...
He's right on here. He's right on here.
Yeah.
Right on the edge.
He's called Dave Evans.
That's a good name. You would never think that that's his name, but
so
there
set
we
this
are.
up for me then, Pete. So we got...
But he would use the dotted eights as well.
He would, but there's the tempo.
And it means you don't have to play as much. You just play much less. You play much less, and it sounds like you're playing much more. Honestly, that's what it is. Like, so here we go. So this is without the delay. What do you hear? So this is all it is. So literally, I'm playing, and then he just played muted palm, and then you can be in the U2.
Albert Lee did that too.
He did as well.
He did.
Anyway, many people using it. It's absolutely, these pedals are brilliant, man. They really are good. You should come in and try them out. If you're looking for a tape echo or a compressor pedal, these have to be on your list, I think.
Yeah. Intuitive, sound great, blah, 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 which is nothing less than we would expect from Wampler.
Exactly.
Cool.
Anyway, there we are.
There we go.
There we are. There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
There we are.
Right, check them out. Links will be below. This is Guitar Paradiso on Andertons TV. Please subscribe to the channel, because we love you too.
You've only got 220,000 subscribers, haven't you? You know. God.
Yeah, but when we did the 200,000 video, can you imagine the one that's going to be 250,000? We're gonna look. Here's the helicopter landing now. it's going to be special.
Is that Lee?
So it's me being picked up. Anyway, I was Pete.
I was Mick.
We'll see you next time. Ta-da!
Bye-bye.